So we're here to talk about project management. And just what is a project manager's job? Well, what we need to make sure of is we understand the role of the project manager is the person who has ultimate responsibility from the birth of the project to the death of the project, in a sense. And if it, at least the stopping of the activity of the event in the form of a project. We, first thing we have to do is initialize the project. And this may occur with a kickoff meeting once we've determined what the scope and done all the background work for how the project's going to be implemented, who the project team is. The project manager is the person who is ultimately responsible for all those individuals and the reporting out of the activities. One thing that's very important for the project manager is to share the responsibility and the success. So you want to be sure that you include all your team members and delegate responsibility to them and allow them to work independently, but you also need to be checking to ensure that things are going well. Because as the project manager, you're not only responsible for any success, but also any failures or difficulties that have occurred during the project. So you have responsibility for those activities. So we start with the project initiation, and we'll move on to the project planning. And in that project planning, we will have schedules. So we need to develop the schedules for the project, and the project manager may themselves be the person who is keeping the activity in Microsoft Project or some other planning software. Personally, I liked modifying the schedule myself. Maybe I'd have others help me develop it, but it gave me a very hands-on, and still does give me a very hands-on understanding of just what all is going into this project that we're working on. We're also going to be having information on maybe a rough budget at this point, and be detailing the formal budget. We're also going to be meeting with management and stakeholders. And that's going to be very important at this stage to make sure that we're on task and know that we're doing what we're doing. Then we move into project management and project execution specifically. The execution is where we go out and we do. It's obvious from the word execution, but we're going to have people on our team that are performing functions, or we're going to have individuals on other teams or part of other units, or people who are on the factory floor who are going to be performing tasks for us. And we have to make sure we stay current and check that this work is being done properly. Now, we may rely on our team to check on that, but we just can't assume as the project manager that important things are being done. And we can't obviously check on everything, especially when we have others who should be doing work for us. So this is where balance and leadership occurs, and you as the project manager need to develop your strength and your own personal style for going out and checking on things. Micromanaging will not get your project done. If you're worried about every detail and every task, and you're constantly asking your team members to report out, this is going to be a problem. It's going to slow down the project rather than move it forward. You may individually feel more comfortable. There might be even a time that for a short period in the project you do need to be on that type of micromanagement, but that's really where you should have systems set up here to help you get feedback and control. You'll burn out your team asking for too many updates. What I've generally had to look at are those tasks that people don't like to perform, people don't want to perform, and that's where I would more closely monitor. Things that could be perceived as uncomfortable, potentially dangerous. If there's an activity at work that has some danger involved, working in a closed space or whatever, people tend to put that activity off. And that's not necessary, but it can happen. The project closeout, a lot of times we can get from 0 of the project done to 90% of the project done. And for many reasons, that last 10% is difficult to do. This is where the project manager may need to have a special focus. And normally project managers have 3 projects going, one that's starting, one that's in the middle, and one that's finishing up. It doesn't always work out that way. I've had 30 projects going at one time, trying to monitor them all, and that's way too many. But if you've got 3, maybe even 5, it can be somewhat comfortable, but this last part is tough because you have to wrap up the last 3, 4, or 5%, which requires a lot of documentation, detail work, ensuring documents are filled out, filed, that the project has a lessons learned meeting. All these things have to occur. For me personally, this is usually the most difficult project stage, maintaining my attention. And in my own personal performance reviews, my directors and managers have noted that I need to work hard to ensure the last 2% of the project is completed, because I'm usually very interested in the next project that is started. And so I've really had to make some checklists for myself, which you may want to consider doing also, to ensure that a project is closing out properly. And it's really a time to celebrate and enjoy more than dread the end documentation. So that's a quick review of the project manager. You're responsible for the stages of initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closeout.